Imposter syndrome is a feeling that you are unworthy or haven't earned your position and really shouldn't be where you are. Whether that's getting accepted into a course, starting a business, or getting a promotion. Perhaps you are terrified of being found out or fear that people are just waiting for you to fail. Well, you're not alone. This video will introduce some of the theories to help you understand it and a couple of techniques you can use to help manage it. Ahoy, Bryce here from Brighter Training and welcome to our video exploring imposter syndrome. You can use the timestamps in the description below if you need to come back and revisit any sections of this video. Of course, if you find these videos useful, please remember to hit like and subscribe and share your comments with us. Okay, so what is imposter syndrome? Just like we said in the intro, it's a feeling of being a fraud. Imposter syndrome is different from self-doubt. I think of self-doubt as task-specific, whereas imposter syndrome is generally related to your identity as a person. Self-doubt is, can I do this? Whereas imposter syndrome is, I don't deserve this, or I shouldn't be here. And it's common. The American Psychological Association suggests that as many as 70% of people will experience imposter syndrome at some time in their life. Psychologist Pauline Rose Clance was the first to study this sense of insecurity. In her work, she noticed many of her undergraduate patients shared a concern that though they had high grades, they didn't believe they deserved their spots at the university. While Clance knew these fears were unfounded, she could also remember feeling the exact same way in graduate school. Together with colleague Suzanne Imes, Clance first studied imposterism in female college students and faculty. Their work established pervasive feelings of fraudulence in this group. While it was initially identified and researched in the female population, it has now been shown to exist across all genders, age groups, industries, and nationalities. It is often more prevalent and disproportionately affects underrepresented minorities and disadvantaged groups. So calling it a syndrome is probably inaccurate, since that diminishes how widespread it is and incorrectly makes people think it's a disease or an abnormality, which it isn't. So let's look at the causes. While some people claim that it is based on anxiety, mental health, past trauma, or a negative environment from your past that has shaken your confidence, in truth, there is no single answer. There are a few common observations, though, that can give some insight. The American Psychological Society proposed that when approaching a task or opportunity, people will either underprepare and get by on what they see as luck, or overprepare and interpret that as needing to work harder than everyone else. Both responses result in a focus on negative interpretations, and people then go and find more evidence to support their doubt. It's a form of confirmation bias. People who are highly skilled or accomplished tend to think others are just as skilled, and so they don't feel that they are more deserving than anyone else. There's also no threshold or defined measurement that these people say, once I demonstrate that, then I am worthy. So they are constantly pushing themselves harder and holding themselves to invisible standards. How do you feel confident when the goals and rules aren't defined? Another common thought process people have is something known as pluralistic ignorance, where we each doubt ourselves privately, but we're alone in thinking that way because no one else voices their doubts. And we don't know how hard other people work, the resources and support that they have access to, how hard they find things, or their own levels of self-doubt. All we see is the end result, and we think that they are so much better or more deserving than us. Of course, if you've experienced a strong negative environment for an extended period of time, perhaps a manager or partner that constantly undermines your confidence or puts you down, then that can lead to self-doubt. So it's important to recognize external influences. More often than not though, people experience imposter syndrome even if they've come from a positive and supporting background. These types of thoughts can stop us speaking up in meetings, sharing ideas, taking chances, applying for a job, asking for a promotion, or going for that audition. So how can we manage it? Here's a few tips you can try. At number 1, Say yes to new opportunities. Keep Richard Branson's famous quote in mind. If someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you are not sure that you can do it, say yes, then learn how to do it later. Approach opportunities as a learning experience. What skills, resources, and support do you need? It then becomes about a process and not a judgment on your capabilities. Next, talk about it. Find someone impartial who can help guide you through your analysis. Sharing concerns can also help you realize your feelings are common. Remember though, you need to be open to hearing a different perspective and recognize that this insight is necessary to combat the internal dialogue that is not serving you. Next, at number 3, consider the evidence. What experience, qualifications, past successes have you had? Be objective and consider tracking and documenting your progress or success as if you were preparing for a performance review. And if there are gaps, what can you do to address it? Taking action and having a focus on growth is far from being an imposter. And if you're constantly fearing what other people are thinking of you, then challenge those beliefs. What evidence do you have that people want you to fail? What benefit is there for them? Or maybe just seek feedback and mentoring from a manager or a leader. At number 4, celebrate it. Yes, it probably sounds strange. However, it can help you to keep things in perspective. Doubt or disruption generally precedes growth. So if you're feeling self-doubt or second-guessing everything, then it can just be a sign that you've stepped outside of your comfort zone. Yay you! At number 5, learn to give and receive feedback regularly. With a specific focus on positive feedback, research shows that higher performing people and teams give over 6 times more positive feedback than corrective feedback. And it is a skill to be able to structure positive feedback in a formal way. And more importantly, to be able to accept it, reflect on it, and integrate it into your identity. Some people say it's worth focusing on the effort someone makes, not the person doing it, since imposter syndrome is often aligned with the sense of identity. It's not about delusional overconfidence. It's about celebrating your journey and your successes, recognizing your potential and giving yourself permission to grow. Humility is fine, but learning how to accept positive feedback, and that does include positive self-talk, is a useful skill to develop. Many confident and successful people, including Albert Einstein, Maya Angelou, Tom Hanks, and Lady Gaga, have reported experiences of imposter syndrome, and chances are many people in your network feel the same way. So we may never be able to banish these feelings entirely, but we can have open conversations about our challenges, fears, and feelings. And we can help each other out by embracing a few truths common to most of us. We all have the best intentions. We are all capable, we all have strengths and talents, and we are not alone in how we feel. I hope this gives you some food for thought or a starting point for your own research. If you're interested in training on this or other topics for you or your team, our contact details can be found in the description below. We would love to hear your own experiences and techniques for managing imposter syndrome, so feel free to leave a comment below, and until next time, thanks for watching and have a great day.